The Virgin Islands Festivals and Fairs Committee is encouraging full participation from residents for Emancipation Festival to be held from the 25th of July to the 6th of August. This year, the committee is facing the challenge of cutting back on activities and ultimately expenses due to a reduced budget. The Emancipation celebration has been reduced by 3 days, and members of the festival committee speaking on JTV's Spotlight revealed that the committee is tasked with finding ways to cut back on expenses while ensuring that the festival remains vibrant.
This year the committee is faced with a little challenge because our budget has been somewhat cut. A budget which was very challenging to work with in the first place. So the committee really had to get into it and see what we possibly can do to get things reduced so that we can have emancipation celebrations we're talking about.
This year's festivities in Road Town, East End and Carrot Bay have been condensed to 11 days, while admitting that there are several ways to reduce cost. Samuel said community participation is important. She said funds derived from events with international artists often help to offset costs for non-revenue generated activities.
Definitely the international acts have a two-faced side to it. We noticed that on our international nights, we actually collect enough to pay for the international night as well as other bills for the festivities. As I don't think the public understands that we have many non-revenue generating activities that the Festival and Fairs Committee have to put on and that we necessarily can't budget for. Hence, and parade being one of the biggest. Hence the reason why we're trying to get out to the public to let them understand how we need to reduce costs, especially when it comes to the parade, and get the participation and the public involvement. When it comes to that aspect. And it's also the Rise and Shine, we have to pay bands to perform. It was something that was never done years ago, but somewhere along the line, it's something that we picked up and we have to pay for it. So there are many non-revenue generating activities that the Festival and Fairs Committee has to finance. And please note that even on our international nights, we collect enough that at least covers half of those expenses when it comes to our non-revenue generating activities that must be put on.
The Festival and Fairs Committee also met with local bands to resolve the long-standing issues surrounding payments and general participation in festival. The Vice Chair of the Virgin Islands Festival and Fairs Committee said the planned cost-cutting measures should ensure that local bands are paid on time.
I would say that we are putting ourselves in a position this year where we probably might not have to deal with that situation at all. Hopefully once things get on the ground how they should get on the ground. Again, we're working with a reduced budget, so of course that offers additional challenges that we have been dealing with from previous years. But some of the cost-cutting measures that we are trying to implement right now should reduce that problem by far.
And we were very honest with the band members in the meeting. It doesn't make any sense to hide from the situation. We were very open and very honest, and they understood our position and we understood theirs, and I think it's just a matter of giving and taking on both sides, and I think it's clear.
And their frustration is understood.
Yes.
It's not that we generally try to make a lot of excuses, which we really have some valid ones, but their frustration is really understood. And like I said, from this year going forward, we are trying to put some cost-cutting measures in place that would not allow that to happen. So hopefully we'll see by August how that works. But we are definitely trying our best on our end to do what we have to do to ensure that local artists are paid on time